Commander Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the Tuxmercy Dawn and watched the stars. Her ship carried medicine, not weapons. She was here to help people, not to fight. Behind her vessel, 2 more transport ships followed. All 3 ships were painted white with red crosses. Everyone in the galaxy knew what that meant. It meant peace. It meant help. Sarah had been in the military for 20 years. She remembered the old stories her grandfather told her. Stories about the war, the big war, the war that happened 700 years ago. Back then, humans fought the Galactic Empire and almost won. Almost. But winning cost too much blood. Too many died. So humans agreed to stop. They signed a treaty. They promised to stay in their small corner of space. They promised not to build big weapons. They promised to be quiet. In return, the Empire promised to leave them alone. 700 years of peace. 700 years of quiet. Sarah grew up in that peace. She became a doctor first, then joined the military to help people. She never fired a gun at anyone. She saved lives instead. "Commander, we're approaching Epsilon 7 station," her pilot said. His name was Marcus, and he was young. Too young to remember war. None of them were old enough to remember. "Good," Sarah said. "Those people need medicine badly. The plague is spreading fast." Epsilon 7 was a station on the border between human space and Empire space. Neutral ground. Many different species lived there. Humans, aliens, traitors, families. Now a sickness was killing them. Sarah's ships carried the cure. Her communication officer suddenly looked worried. "Commander, I'm picking up Imperial warships ahead." A lot of them. Sarah felt something cold in her stomach. "How many?" 20 vessels. Military class. They're positioning around the station. This was wrong. Treaty said both sides should stay away from neutral stations. Sarah opened a communication channel. "This is Commander Sarah Chen of the Terran Unified Command. We are on a humanitarian mission. We carry medical supplies for Epsilon 7. We are unarmed. Please acknowledge." Silence. Sarah tried again. "Imperial vessels, please respond." "We are here under the Titan Treaty. We have clearance for this mission." More silence, then a face appeared on her screen. An alien face. He was tall with blue skin and 3 eyes. His uniform showed high rank, very high. "I am Viceroy Krath Zul of the Imperial Second Fleet," the alien said. His voice was cold. "You are in violation of Imperial space." "No, sir," Sarah said calmly. "Epsilon 7 is neutral territory. We have every right to be here. We're delivering medicine. People are dying." Krath Zul smiled. It was not a nice smile. "I have declared this system under Imperial protection. Turn back now." Sarah's hands gripped her chair. She knew what this was. This was a trap. This was someone looking for an excuse. "Viceroy, please. We have children on that station, families. They need this medicine. We're not here to fight. We're here to help. Turn back or be fired upon." Sarah looked at her crew. They were all looking at her. Scared but trusting, she had a choice. Turn back and let people die, or go forward and risk her ships. She thought about the oath she took. The promise to help people, to save lives. "We're going forward," she said quietly. "All ships maintain course. Shields up, but do not arm weapons. We are a medical mission." Her ship moved forward. Slowly. Carefully. The 2 ships behind her followed. Krath Zul's face disappeared from the screen. "Commander," Marcus said. His voice shook. "They're powering up weapons. Hold course," Sarah said. Her heart was beating fast. "They won't fire." The treaty. The first shot hit her ship on the right side. The explosion threw everyone to the floor. Alarms screamed. Lights flickered. Sarah pulled herself up. "Damage report. Hull breach on decks 3 and 4. We're venting atmosphere," someone shouted. Another blast hit them. Then another. The bridge filled with smoke. Sarah could hear people screaming. Her ship was dying. They were killing her ship. Her medical ship. Her crew, abandoned ship. Sarah ordered. "Everyone to the escape pods, now." But the attacks kept coming, fast, too fast. The Empire ships were trying to destroy them completely. Sarah saw one of her transport ships explode, just gone. Hundreds of people, doctors, nurses, gone. She grabbed the communication console. Her hands were bleeding. She didn't know from what. She hit the emergency beacon. The one that recorded everything. That sent everything back to Earth. "This is Commander Sarah Chen," she said. Blood ran down her face. "We were fired upon without provocation. We were unarmed. We were on a humanitarian mission. They're killing us. They're murdering us." She coughed. Smoke filled her lungs. Tell Earth, tell them to remember. Remember why they feared us. Remember what we can do. Remember, another explosion. The biggest one yet. Sarah felt herself flying. Then nothing. On Earth, in the great council chamber, old men and women watched the recording. They watched it in silence. They watched Sarah Chen die. They watched her ships burn. They watched murder happen. 847 people died at Epsilon 7. Doctors, nurses, pilots, engineers, people who spent their lives saving others, cut down by weapons fire, murdered under a flag of peace. The recording played again. And again. Within hours, every human in every colony world saw it. Billions of people watched. Children watched. Parents watched. Soldiers watched. The Terran Council met. 12 leaders from 12 colony worlds. They sat in the same room where the Treaty of Titan was signed 700 years ago. The treaty that bought peace. The treaty that said humans would be small and quiet. They broke the treaty. One council member said they killed our people. Another said they murdered Commander Chen in cold blood. A third said. The oldest council member stood up. Her name was President Amara Osei. She was 90 years old. She remembered her great-grandmother's stories about the old war. The real war, when humans showed the galaxy what they could do. For 700 years we kept our promise, Amara said. Her voice was quiet, but everyone heard. We stayed small. We stayed quiet. We built no great weapons. We threatened no one. We asked for only one thing. To be left alone. To live in peace. She pressed a button. Old codes activated. Codes that had been sleeping for 700 years, waiting. They have taken our peace, Amara said. They have killed our children. They have shown us that treaties are worth nothing when dealing with empires. Very well, let them remember. Let them remember why their ancestors were wise to make peace with us. Let them remember what humans are when you take everything from us. She looked at the council. Every face was hard. Every eye was angry. Activate Protocol Olympus, Amara said. Wake up the fleet. Call up the reserves. Open the hidden yards. We gave them 700 years of peace. Now we'll give them something else. We'll give them war. All across human space, ancient systems came alive. Lights turned on in dark places. Engines that slept for centuries hummed to life. Weapons that were hidden away were brought out and checked. Ships that looked civilian opened secret compartments. Humanity was waking up, and the galaxy was about to remember why they should have left humans alone. Admiral Marcus Okonkwo stood in a place that was not supposed to exist. He was far beyond Pluto, far beyond the edge of the solar system that people knew about. Out here in the dark, hidden behind rocks and ice, was a secret. The shipyard stretched for hundreds of miles. Thousands of vessels hung in space like sleeping giants. Warships, big ones, built slowly over 700 years. Built in secret. Built for a day everyone hoped would never come. That day had come. How many ships are ready? Marcus asked. His second officer checked her screen. 3,247 are fully operational. Another 800 will be ready within the week. The rest need more time. Marcus nodded. 3,000 warships. The Empire thought humans had maybe 200 old patrol boats. They had no idea. No one did. That was the point. Start bringing them online, Marcus ordered. All of them. We're going to need every single ship. Around Earth and the 12 colony worlds, similar scenes played out. On Mars, the mining tunnels opened up. Inside were factories. Weapons factories. They had been making guns and missiles for 700 years. Slowly. Quietly. Just in case. On Europa, the research station revealed its true purpose. It was a training base. Thousands of soldiers trained there every year. They learned to fight in zero gravity. They learned tactics and strategy. They learned everything their ancestors knew about war. Then they went home and taught others. Every human colony had secret soldiers. Millions of them. Dr. Yuki Tanaka walked through her laboratory on Luna. She looked tired. She had not slept in 3 days. Not since Sarah Chen died. Yuki knew Sarah. They went to medical school together. They saved lives together. Now Sarah was dead, murdered for trying to help people. Yuki's laboratory looked like it studied engines, civilian engines for ships and stations. That was partly true. But the engines had another use. A military use. Yuki and her team had spent 20 years working on it. Run the test again, she told her assistant. They powered up the engine. Normal space drives used jump gates. You flew to a gate, jumped through, and came out at another gate. The Empire controlled most of the gates. They knew where everyone was going. They could predict fleet movements. They had the advantage, but Yuki's engine did not need gates. On the test screen, a small probe disappeared. Then it reappeared 3 light-years away. Then it jumped again. And again. Random jumps. Unpredictable locations. No gates needed. It works, her assistant breathed. Yes, Yuki said quietly. It works. The Empire thinks they know where we can go. They think they can block us with their gates. They're wrong. She thought about Sarah, about her friend dying in the dark, about her calling for Earth to remember. We remember, Sarah, Yuki whispered. We remember everything. In Geneva, in the old military headquarters that everyone thought was just a museum, General James Whitmore walked through halls lined with weapons. Old weapons from the last war. Kinetic rifles, plasma cannons, armor suits. All of it still worked. All of it was maintained, polished, ready. His grandfather fought in the containment war. His grandfather told him stories about how humans fought, how they adapted, how they never gave up. The Empire had more ships, more weapons, more soldiers. But humans had something else. Humans had the ability to change, to learn, to evolve in the middle of battle. Sir, an aide approached him. The reserves are responding. We have 92% confirmation. They're ready to deploy. 92%. That meant millions of soldiers, people who had normal jobs, teachers, doctors, engineers, but they all trained. They all practiced. They all knew that someday maybe they might need to fight. That someday was now. Good, James said. Start the deployment. I want ground forces ready on every colony world. If the Empire wants a war, we'll give them one they'll never forget. On the Galactic Council station, the news of the attack spread fast. The council was made up of 200 species. Most of them were part of the Empire. Some were neutral. A few were independent but scared of the Empire. The video of Sarah Chen's death played in the council chambers. Ambassadors watched in horror. Some protested. Some looked away. Some did nothing. The human ambassador stood up. Her name was Ambassador Chen, Sarah's mother. She did not cry. She did not shout. She just spoke in a clear, cold voice. For 700 years we kept our word, Ambassador Chen said. We asked for one thing. Leave us alone. Let us live in peace. We threatened no one. We attacked no one. We just wanted to exist. She played the video again. Her daughter's last words. Her daughter's death. This was a medical mission. They were unarmed. They were helping people. And your empire murdered them. Murdered my daughter. Murdered 847 innocent people. She looked at the Imperial ambassador. He was an old alien with gray skin and many arms. He looked uncomfortable. We are sending the Empire a message, Ambassador Chen continued. You have 72 hours to surrender Viceroy Krathzul and all officers involved in this attack. They will face trial for war crimes. You have 72 hours. After that, we will come for them. And we will not ask permission. The Imperial ambassador stood up. He tried to look confident. The Empire does not take orders from humans. You are bound by the Treaty of Titan. You cannot have military forces beyond your borders. We know you are weak. We know you have no real fleet. Your threats are empty. Ambassador Chen smiled. It was a terrible smile, sad and angry and full of pain. You think you know us, she said. You think 700 years of peace made us weak. You think we forgot. You're wrong. We never forgot. We just hoped we would never need to remember. But you've forced our hand. Now you'll see what humans are when you take everything from us. She turned and walked out. Behind her, ambassadors began to talk all at once. Some called for peace. Some called for investigations. The neutral species began moving their ships away from human borders. They were smart. They knew something bad was coming. Back on Earth, the countdown began. 72 hours. 3 days. The Empire had 3 days to make things right. In the Imperial capital, Emperor Valthric XVI received the message. He was surrounded by advisors. Military commanders, politicians, they all talked at once. The humans are bluffing, one said. They have no real military, another said. This is their way of saving face, a third said. Viceroy Krathzul was brought to the throne room. He bowed low. Your Majesty, I only did what was necessary. The humans were entering our territory. I defended the Empire's interests. The Emperor looked at reports about human military strength. Old reports. Reports that said humans had a few hundred outdated ships. Reports that said humans were no threat. Send the second fleet to human borders, the Emperor ordered. Show them that the Empire does not respond to threats. Show them their place, his advisors cheered. They talked about crushing the human rebellion, about teaching them a lesson, about expanding into human space after they were defeated. None of them noticed the new reports coming in. Reports from spies near human space. Reports about strange energy readings. About old bases coming online. About ships appearing where no ships should be. None of them knew that humans had been preparing for this day for 700 years. None of them understood that humans never forgot. Humans just waited. The countdown continued. 60 hours, 50 hours, 40 hours. The Empire prepared its fleet. The biggest fleet they could gather on short notice. 5,000 ships. They would jump through the gates to human space. They would show these upstart humans what real power looked like. But they did not know about Yuki's engines. They did not know about the secret shipyards. They did not know about the millions of trained soldiers. They did not know anything. 10 hours left. 5 hours. 1 hour. The timer reached 0. In the command center on Earth, President Amara Ose looked at her military commanders. Launch the first strike, she said. All across human space, ships began to move. Not toward the Empire's fleet waiting at the gates. The ships went around the gates. They jumped through space without using the Empire's system. They appeared at Krathzul's home base, System Prax 9, deep inside Empire territory. The war had begun, and the Empire was about to learn that they made a terrible mistake. The alarms in System Prax 9 started screaming at the same moment human ships appeared. 1 second the space was empty. The next second, 400 human warships materialized out of nowhere. No jump gates, no warning, just suddenly there. The Imperial defenders scrambled. They had 1,200 ships protecting Viceroy Krathzul's base. They outnumbered the humans 3-1. Their commanders felt confident. They sent messages to each other. Mocking messages. These foolish humans thought they could win. Admiral Marcus Okonkwo sat in his command chair and watched the Imperial fleet form up. They were doing exactly what the old tactical manuals said they would do. Humans had studied the Empire for 700 years. They knew every tactic, every formation, every doctrine. The Empire had not studied humans for 700 years. They thought they knew everything. They were wrong. All ships, Marcus said calmly. Execute Pattern Titan 7. The human fleet split into small groups. 10 ships here, 20 ships there. They moved fast, faster than Imperial ships could match. They darted between the enemy vessels like small fish around big sharks. The Empire fired their massive guns. Big, powerful weapons that could destroy a ship in one shot, but they had to hit first. The human ships dodged and weaved. They were smaller, quicker, harder to hit. Then the humans fired back, but not the way the Empire expected. The human weapons were different. Kinetic weapons. Metal slugs accelerated to incredible speeds, simple, basic, old technology, but humans made them better. The Empire used energy shields, big shields that stopped lasers and plasma weapons, shields that had protected them for thousands of years. But kinetic weapons did not care about energy shields. Metal slugs just punched right through them. Imperial ships began to explode. First one, then 10, then 100. The human guns fired constantly. Small, fast ships darted in close, fired, then darted away before the big, slow Imperial guns could rotate to hit them. Target the flagship, Marcus ordered. Krathzul is on that ship. I want him alive. 6 human destroyers focused on the Viceroy's massive battleship. They hit the engines first, then the weapons, then the communications. They cut the ship apart piece by piece, precise, surgical. They did not destroy it. They disabled it. Krathzul stood on his bridge and watched his fleet die around him. This was not possible. Humans were weak. Humans had no real military. The report said so. The intelligence said so. Withdraw, he ordered. All ships withdraw. But there was nowhere to go. Human ships blocked every escape route. The Empire vessels that tried to run were hunted down, destroyed. In 6 hours the battle was over. 1,200 Imperial ships, gone, destroyed, or captured. The human fleet lost 48 vessels, 4% casualties. It was not even close. Marcus sent a message to the crippled flagship. Viceroy Krathzul, you are under arrest for war crimes. Surrender your ship and prepare to be boarded. Krathzul wanted to fight, wanted to die rather than surrender. But his crew did not want to die. They opened the airlocks. Human Marines came aboard. They were professional, quick, efficient. They secured the ship in 20 minutes. Krathzul was dragged from his command chair. A human Marine sergeant looked at him with cold eyes. The Viceroy wanted to murder medical personnel. Now the Viceroy gets to face justice. Come on. The video of the battle spread across the galaxy within hours. Everyone saw it. The Empire, the neutral species, the Galactic Council, everyone, they watched the humans fight. Watched them win. Watched them capture one of the most powerful admirals in the Empire fleet without breaking a sweat. The Empire was in shock. Their analysts watched the videos over and over. They saw things that should not be possible. Human ships moving faster than they should. Human weapons that ignored shields. Human tactics that were centuries ahead of Imperial doctrine. How? Emperor Valthric demanded. How do they have this technology? Where did this fleet come from? His intelligence chief looked pale. Your Majesty, we are getting reports. Reports we ignored. There are shipyards. Hidden shipyards. Beyond the edge of their system. They've been building ships for centuries. Thousands of ships. That's impossible. The treaty forbids it. The treaty forbids military forces beyond their borders. It says nothing about building ships inside their own territory. They stayed inside their borders. But they kept building, kept preparing. The Emperor felt cold. How many ships? Our estimates, over 4,000 warships, possibly more. And they have new technology, jump drives that don't use gates. We can't predict where they'll appear. We can't block them. They can go anywhere. Around the Imperial court, panic began to spread. Admirals and generals shouted at each other. Some wanted to attack, launch the Grand Fleet, crush the humans with overwhelming numbers. Others wanted to negotiate, to fix this before it got worse. 5 species that were part of the Empire sent urgent messages. They demanded peace talks. They did not want to fight humans. They remembered the old stories about the containment war, about what humans could do when they were angry. Emperor Valthric made his choice. Mobilize the Grand Fleet, 10,000 ships. We will show these humans that the Empire is still supreme. We will crush them and end this rebellion. It was the wrong choice. Over the next 3 weeks, human fleets appeared in 40 different systems. Not randomly. Carefully chosen targets. Supply bases, fuel depots, communication relays, shipyards. They hit the Empire's infrastructure. Each attack was fast, brutal, efficient. Then the humans disappeared before reinforcements could arrive. The Empire tried to respond. They sent fleets to protect their bases, but the humans just attacked different targets. The Empire fleet was 10 times bigger than the human fleet. But it did not matter. The Empire had to defend everywhere. Humans could attack anywhere. General James Whitmore led the ground campaigns. When humans captured a base or station, his Marines went in. They were different from normal soldiers. Every Marine had advanced armor, medical implants that healed wounds quickly, communications that let them coordinate perfectly, and training. So much training. On Station Gamma 19, Imperial troops tried to defend against a human assault. They outnumbered the humans 5 to 1. They had good cover, good weapons. They should have won. The human Marines moved through the station like ghosts. They used tactics the Empire had never seen. Small teams, quick strikes. They turned the defenders' advantages against them. In 4 hours, the station was captured. The Imperial defenders surrendered. James walked through the captured station. He saw wounded Imperial soldiers. His medics were treating them, saving their lives. Even after everything, humans still helped wounded enemies. Why? An Imperial soldier asked him. He was young, scared. Why do you treat us? We tried to kill you. James looked at him. Because soldiers and civilians are different. Because treating prisoners well is the right thing to do. Because we're not trying to destroy you. We're trying to get justice. There's a difference. The word spread. Imperial soldiers began to hear about human prisoners being treated well, fed, given medical care, allowed to send messages home. It was confusing. The Empire told them humans were monsters, barbarians, but humans acted with honor. More Imperial soldiers began surrendering instead of fighting to the death. On the neutral station Kepler 7, the Galactic Council met in emergency session. Ambassadors from 200 species argued and shouted, "The humans must be stopped. the Imperial ambassador demanded. The humans are only responding to aggression, a neutral ambassador countered. They are violating the treaty. You violated the treaty first. You murdered their people. Ambassador Chen sat quietly through it all. When the shouting died down, she stood. The Empire made a choice, she said. They chose to murder 847 innocent people, medical personnel, under a flag of peace. They thought there would be no consequences. They were wrong. What do you want? A neutral ambassador asked. What will make you stop? We want justice, Ambassador Chen said. We want Kratzul and his officers to face trial. We want reparations for the families of the murdered. We want formal recognition of our sovereignty. We want a demilitarized zone between our space and the Empire. We want to guarantee this will never happen again. The Empire will never agree to those terms, the Imperial ambassador said. Then the war continues, Ambassador Chen replied. She was calm, ice-cold calm. We can do this for years, decades, centuries if we have to. We're patient, we're persistent, and we never forget. She left the council chamber. Behind her, chaos erupted again. In space above the Imperial throne world Valtoris, something impossible happened. The human fleet appeared. 300 ships. Right there, in the heart of the Empire. Every alarm in the system activated. Every defense force scrambled. This was the capital, the most defended system in the Empire, and humans just showed up uninvited. Admiral Marcus opened a communication to the planet. His face appeared on every screen in the capital city. Billions of people saw him. People of the Empire, he said. We are not here to conquer. We are not here to kill civilians. We are here to deliver a message. The human fleet engaged the orbital defense platforms. The battle was fierce. The defenders fought hard. But humans had better weapons, better tactics, better technology. In 36 hours, the orbital defenses were destroyed. The planet was defenseless. Marcus broadcast again. We could destroy your world. We have the weapons. We have the ability. The war entered its 5th month. What the Empire thought would be a quick victory had turned into a nightmare. Human forces were everywhere and nowhere. They struck at targets across 40 systems. They appeared without warning. They destroyed Imperial bases and disappeared before reinforcements arrived. Admiral Marcus Okonkwo stood in his command center and looked at the tactical map. Red dots showed Imperial forces. Blue dots showed human forces. The red dots outnumbered blue 5-1, but the red dots were scattered, confused, reacting instead of acting. Sir, intelligence reports the Empire is gathering their grand fleet at Sector Kappa, his tactical officer reported. They're pulling ships from defensive positions across the Empire. Marcus nodded. The Empire was finally doing the smart thing, concentrating their forces. They would try to hit a major human target with overwhelming numbers. Where do we think they'll strike? Colony World Kepler 442b, it's our newest colony. Only 500,000 people. Limited defenses. Then we'll be ready for them. But Marcus felt tired, so tired. Every victory came with a cost. 48 ships lost at Prax 9. 212 more in the campaign since. 20,000 dead. 20,000 people who would never go home. He thought about Commander Sarah Chen, about how she died trying to save lives. Now Marcus was taking lives. It was necessary. It was justified. But it still hurt. Admiral, you should rest, his first officer said quietly. You haven't slept in 2 days. I'll rest when this is over, Marcus replied. Far from the front lines, Dr. Yuki Tanaka worked in her laboratory. She was not on the battlefield, but she was still fighting. Her jump drives let human ships appear anywhere. Her weapons punched through Imperial shields. Her technology was winning the war, but every report she read listed casualties. Ships destroyed using her engines. People killed by her weapons. She saved the casualty reports. Read every name. Remembered them, Dr. Tanaka, her assistant said gently. You can't blame yourself, can't I? Yuki looked at the screens. I made these weapons. I built them knowing what they would do. Every death is partially my responsibility. You gave us a chance to win, to get justice for Sarah. Yuki closed her eyes. Sarah, her friend. They studied medicine together. They took an oath together, to help people, to save lives. Now Yuki was an instrument of death. War is horrible, she said quietly. Even when it's justified, maybe especially when it's justified. On Kepler 442b, General James Whitmore prepared his defenses. He had 200,000 soldiers on the ground. Good soldiers, well-trained. But if the Empire fleet got through, if they started bombarding from orbit, all the training in the world would not matter. General, refugees are still evacuating, his aide reported. We've got transports leaving every hour, but we can't get everyone out in time. James looked at the tactical display. 3 days until the Empire fleet arrived. Maybe half the civilians would be evacuated by then. That left 250,000 people at risk. Then we hold, James said. We hold until everyone is safe. His soldiers dug in. They built bunkers and fortifications. They set up anti-air defenses. They prepared for the worst. Many of them had families on the planet, children, parents. They were not just defending territory. They were defending their homes. James walked through the defensive lines. He talked to soldiers, learned their names, listened to their fears. It was what his grandfather taught him. Good leaders knew their people. A young sergeant named Maria asked him, "Sir, do you think we can win?" James looked at her honestly. "I think we'll give them a hell of a fight. I think we'll make them pay for every inch. And I think our fleet will show up just in time to send them running." He hoped he was right. In the Imperial capital, Emperor Valthric watched his empire start to crack. 5 species had declared neutrality and withdrawn their forces. 3 more were negotiating with the humans behind his back. His own nobles were arguing about whether to continue the war. "Your Majesty, we must make peace," one advisor urged. "The cost is too high. We're losing ships faster than we can build them." "No," the Emperor slammed his fist down. "We will not be humiliated by these humans. We will crush them." His military commander spoke carefully. "Your Majesty, the humans have better technology, better tactics. They can appear anywhere. We cannot predict their movements. We cannot protect everything. If this continues, then we use the final weapon," the Emperor said. Silence fell over the room. "Your Majesty," the military commander said slowly. "The planet killer? That weapon is forbidden by every galactic treaty. If we use it, they will surrender," the Emperor interrupted. "Or we will destroy one of their colony worlds. They will see we are serious. They will stop." His advisors exchanged worried looks. The planet killer was a weapon from the old wars. A weapon so terrible that the entire galaxy agreed never to use it again. It could destroy all life on a world in minutes. It was a weapon of genocide. "Prepare it," the Emperor ordered. "If the humans do not surrender after we take Kepler 442b, we will use it on their next colony." It was the worst decision he could have made. Human intelligence learned about the planet killer 3 days later. Spy networks, intercepted communications, rumors. All of it pointed to the same thing. The Empire was going to use a doomsday weapon. President Amara Ose called an emergency meeting. Every military commander, every colonial governor, every member of the council. "If they use that weapon," she said quietly, "millions will die, billions. We cannot allow it." "Where is it?" Marcus asked. "Research facility on Sigma 7, deep in Empire space. Heavily defended." "Then we go in and destroy it," General James said, "before they can use it." "It's a suicide mission," someone objected. "The defenses are too strong." "Then I'll lead it myself," James said. "This is too important to fail." The raid was planned in 48 hours. James personally selected the team. 200 of the best Special Forces soldiers, engineers, demolition experts, and Dr. Yuki Tanaka, because they would need someone who understood the weapon to destroy it properly. Yuki did not want to go. She was a scientist, not a soldier. But she knew the mission was necessary. If the Empire used the planet killer, the war would become a war of extermination. Humanity would have to destroy the Empire completely. Billions would die. "I'll go," she said. The team infiltrated on a captured Imperial transport. They wore stolen uniforms, carried forged credentials. The facility guards let them through without question. Why would they suspect? The facility was deep in secure space. No one could possibly attack it. They were wrong. James and his team moved through the facility quickly. They stunned guards instead of killing them when possible. Every second counted. Once the alarm went off, they would have minutes to complete the mission. Yuki found the planet killer in a massive chamber. It was huge, powerful, terrible. She looked at the schematics, found the power core, the stabilizers, the control systems. "Can you destroy it?" James asked. "Yes, but I need 15 minutes. You've got 10. After that, they'll be coming with everything they have." Yuki's hands flew over the controls. She was reprogramming the weapon, turning its power against itself. It was delicate work. One mistake and the weapon would detonate. One mistake and they all died. Behind her, she heard gunfire. James and his soldiers were holding off the guards. Buying her time. 5 minutes, someone shouted. Almost there, Yuki said. Her hands were shaking. She forced them steady. This was too important. They're bringing heavy weapons. Just a bit more. The weapons systems began to cascade. Yuki had turned it into a bomb that would destroy itself and the entire facility. She input the timer. 60 seconds. Run, she shouted. Everyone out now! The team sprinted for the exit. James grabbed Yuki's arm and pulled her along. They reached their ship. Engines already running. They lifted off as the timer hit 0. The explosion was visible from space. The entire research facility vanished in a ball of light. The planet killer was destroyed. Along with all the data, all the research, it would take the Empire decades to rebuild it. By then, the war would be long over. Back on Kepler 442b, the Empire fleet arrived. 9,000 ships, the largest fleet assembled in centuries. They expected to overwhelm the colony, to force humanity to surrender. But the human fleet was waiting. 4,000 ships, hidden in the asteroid field. They let the Empire fleet pass. Then they struck from behind. The battle raged for 3 days. The longest battle of the war. The Empire had numbers. Humans had technology and tactics. Ships exploded by the hundreds, space filled with debris. On the ground, James and his soldiers watched the sky burn, saw the flashes of weapons fire, saw ships die. They were ready to fight if the Empire broke through. But they never got the chance. On day 3, the Empire fleet broke. The admiral in charge ordered a retreat. His ships jumped away. The humans had won again, but the cost was high. The human fleet lost 800 ships, 40,000 dead. The colony was saved, but the price was terrible. Marcus stood on his damaged bridge and looked at the casualty reports. So many names, so many people who would never see home again. He thought about what he was becoming, about what this war was doing to all of them. Sir, his communications officer said quietly, we're getting a message from the Neutral Council. The peace talks took place on Station Unity. It was a neutral station, built and maintained by the smaller species of the galaxy, neither human nor Imperial, a place where both sides could meet safely. Ambassador Chen arrived with her delegation. She looked older now. The war had aged her. She lost her daughter, watched her people fight and die, but she was still strong, still determined. The Imperial delegation arrived next, not Emperor Valthric. He refused to come. Instead, his son Prince Dalvos represented the Empire. He was young. He had not wanted this war. He saw what it was doing to his people. The Galactic Council mediators sat between them, representatives from 50 neutral species. They were there to help both sides find peace, to prevent the war from spreading further. We are here for one reason, the head mediator said, to end this war. Both sides have suffered. Both sides have lost people. Both sides have reasons for anger. But continuing the war helps no one. Ambassador Chen spoke first. 8 months ago, the Empire murdered 847 innocent people, medical personnel on a humanitarian mission. That is why we are here. That is why this war started. We want justice. Prince Dalvos looked uncomfortable. The actions of Viceroy Krathzul were unauthorized. He exceeded his authority. He was following your Empire's policy, Ambassador Chen countered. A policy of intimidation, of believing you could do anything to humans without consequences. We underestimated you, the prince admitted quietly. We were wrong. Many in the Empire realize that now. But we cannot simply surrender. We have our pride, our honor. Then let's talk about what each side needs, the mediator said. The negotiations went on for weeks. Both sides argued, debated, sometimes shouted. But they kept talking. That was important. As long as they talked, people were not dying. Meanwhile, the war continued at a lower level. Small skirmishes, border conflicts, but no major battles. Both sides were holding back, waiting to see if peace was possible. In a secure facility on Europa, Viceroy Krathzul sat in a cell. He had been a prisoner for 8 months. He spent his time thinking, remembering. He remembered the moment he ordered the attack on Commander Chen's ships. He thought it would make him powerful, thought it would advance his career. Instead, it started a war. A war that was destroying his empire. A human guard approached his cell. "Viceroy, you have visitors." Krathzul looked up. He expected lawyers, or maybe interrogators. Instead, he saw something unexpected. An old woman. "Sarah Chen's mother, why are you here?" Krathzul asked. Ambassador Chen looked at him through the force field. "I wanted to see the person who killed my daughter. I wanted to understand why. I was following orders, defending the Empire's interests." "You were murdering innocent people," she said quietly. "My daughter was a doctor. She saved lives. She helped people. And you killed her for no reason except ambition." Krathzul looked away. "I did what I thought was right." "No, you did what you thought would benefit you. And because of that choice, millions have suffered, humans, your own people. All because you wanted glory." She turned to leave, then stopped. "You're going to face trial. You're going to be judged for what you did. I hope when you stand there you understand the weight of your choices. I hope you realize how much damage one bad decision can cause." The trial was scheduled to take place after the peace talks concluded, if they concluded, if peace was possible. Back at Station Unity, the negotiations reached a critical point. Both sides had laid out their demands. Now they had to compromise. "The Empire will formally apologize for the attack on Epsilon 7, Prince Dalvos said. "We will pay reparations to the families of the victims. We will recognize human sovereignty completely. No restrictions, no limitations. And the war criminals?" Ambassador Chen asked. "They will face trial, including Viceroy Krathzul, but the trial must be fair. Neutral judges. Representatives from both sides." Ambassador Chen considered. It was not everything she wanted, but it was justice. "Agreed. And the demilitarized zone? 3 systems between our space and yours. Neither side may have military forces there. Neutral species may operate freely. We want guaranteed access to the Galactic Council, full voting rights, equal status with the Empire." Prince Dalvos hesitated. This was difficult. The Empire had always seen itself as superior. But he nodded. "Agreed. Humanity will have a permanent seat on the Council. Equal voice. Equal vote." The mediators looked hopeful. They were close. "So close to peace. One more thing," Ambassador Chen said. "We want a promise. A guarantee. That this will never happen again. That the Empire will never target human civilians. That if there are disputes, they will be resolved through diplomacy, not violence." "We agree," Prince Dalvos said. "But we need the same promise from humanity. That you will not expand into Empire space. That you will respect our borders." "We never wanted your space," Ambassador Chen said. "We just wanted to be left alone. To live in peace. We will respect your borders if you respect ours." Prince Dalvos extended his hand. A human gesture. One he had learned specifically for this moment. Ambassador Chen took it. They shook. The war was over. The Treaty of New Earth was signed 3 weeks later. Representatives from 200 species attended. It was the most important treaty in galactic history. It recognized humans as equals. It created new rules for how species should interact. It promised justice for war crimes. Most importantly, it promised peace. The trial of Viceroy Krathzul and his officers took place on Station Unity. Judges from neutral species presided. Lawyers from both sides presented evidence. The victims' families testified, including Ambassador Chen. She stood in front of the court and talked about her daughter, about Sarah's life, her dreams, her dedication to helping people. She showed the video of Sarah's death. The court watched in silence. "My daughter's last words were to remember," Ambassador Chen said, "to remember why the Empire feared humanity. But I think she meant something else too. Remember why we value peace. Remember why we should never take it for granted. Remember that every person, human or alien, has value, has a family, has people who love them." The verdict came 2 days later. Guilty on all charges. Krathzul was sentenced to life in prison. His officers received varying sentences based on their involvement. Justice was served, but Ambassador Chen did not feel satisfied. She felt empty. Her daughter was still gone. No amount of justice would bring her back. Admiral Marcus Okonkwo retired after the war. He had done his duty, led his people to victory. But the cost haunted him. 20,000 human dead, hundreds of thousands of Imperial soldiers dead. So much destruction. He spent his retirement writing, recording the history of the war, making sure future generations would understand, would remember. would hopefully avoid making the same mistakes. Dr. Yuki Tanaka continued her work, but now she focused on peaceful technology, medical advances, agricultural improvements, ways to help people instead of harm them. She visited the colonies damaged by the war, helped rebuild, tried to heal the wounds she helped create. General James Whitmore became the head of human military forces, not to prepare for war but to prevent it. He established training programs that emphasized diplomacy and restraint, along with combat skills. He wanted soldiers who understood when to fight and when to talk. The galaxy changed after the war. Humanity was no longer seen as weak. They were respected, sometimes feared, but mostly respected. Smaller species began looking to humans for protection, for mediation, for help. Humans took the role seriously. They remembered what happened when power was abused. When the strong bullied the weak, they tried to be better. 10 years after the war, a new space station was built. It orbited the spot where Epsilon 7 used to be. The old station was destroyed in the fighting. The new one was called the Chen Memorial Station. It was dedicated to peace, to diplomacy, to helping people. Every year on the anniversary of Commander Sarah Chen's death, a ceremony was held. Humans and aliens both attended. They remembered the people who died. They celebrated the peace that came from their sacrifice. Admiral Marcus Okonkwo, now an old man, spoke at the 10th anniversary ceremony. He stood before a memorial wall. 847 names carved in stone. Every person who died at Epsilon 7. "We gather here to remember," he said. His voice was quiet but carried to everyone present. "We remember Commander Chen and her crew. We remember why they died. And we remember what came after." He looked at the crowd. Humans and aliens standing together, former enemies now friends. The Empire learned something that day. They learned that humanity does not seek war. We prefer peace. We want to live quietly, to help others, to build and create. But they also learned that when war comes for us, when someone threatens our people, when injustice is done, we respond, we fight. We never give up. We make sure that those who cause harm face consequences. Commander Chen's last words were to remember. We have remembered. We remembered our strength, our unity, our determination. But we also remembered our humanity, our compassion, our ability to forgive without forgetting. He touched the wall gently. The peace we have now cost 847 lives. It cost 20,000 more in the war that followed. Hundreds of thousands on both sides. That is too high a price, but we honor them by maintaining this peace, by being vigilant, by being strong, and by being just.